You know that feeling when everything's just perfect for a second, like the world's hit pause on all the crap life throws at you? Yeah, well, Sarah Jennings had one of those rare afternoons down at Riverside Park, sun filtering through the cottonwoods, her 7-year-old boy, Tommy, darting after frisbees like a little tornado of joy. No rent due notices burning a hole in her pocket. No double shifts at the diner gnawing at her brain. She was just a mom, 28 and beat to hell from scraping by after her deadbeat ex bailed, spreading out that faded picnic blanket and letting the breeze whisper away the exhaustion. You feel me? But peace like that, it's fragile as glass, and damn if it didn't shatter when those 3 locals guys from the neighborhood watch, the kind who patrolled like they owned the damn sidewalk, stumbled over from the grill area, red Solo cups sloshing cheap beer, eyes narrowing on her like she'd trespassed on their turf. See, Riverside wasn't just any park. It was the heart of Elmwood Heights, that tight-knit suburb where the Homeowners Association, those busybody overlords with their finicky rules about lawn lengths and community standards, had been locking horns with outsiders for months over who got to use the space. Sarah was newish, renting a shoebox apartment on the edge, and to these clowns, she was the poster child for undesirables, single mom, no husband to vouch for her, daring to let her kid play without a membership sticker on her car. Hey, sweetheart. The ringleader, a beefy guy named Harlan with a gut straining his polo shirt, drawled, plopping down too close, his buddies flanking like hyenas scenting weakness. This spot's reserved for folks who actually pay dues around here. You and the rugrat gonna pack up? Or we gotta make it official? Sarah's stomach twisted fear. Yeah, but mostly that hot flush of injustice. The kind that reminds you how small you feel when the world's stacked against you. But she scooped Tommy close, his tiny fists clutching her sleeve, and met Harlan's smirk with steel in her voice. We're just picnicking, same as everyone. Back off. Oh, they laughed, that ugly bark echoing across the playground. One of them slick-haired Vic dumping his beer foam right on her blanket, soaking the peanut butter sandwiches, while the third, twitchy Eddie, leaned in with whiskey breath, whispering loud enough for the swings to hear. Don't get feisty, doll. We protect this place from types like you leeching off our taxes, huh? Your boy's gonna grow up thinking handouts are normal. Tommy whimpered, burying his face in her hip, and Sarah's heart cracked wide open, rage bubbling under the terror because, damn it, she'd fought tooth and nail for every scrap of normalcy. 2 jobs slinging hash and cleaning offices just to keep the lights on, and here they were, turning her safe haven into a battlefield over some petty HOA grudge, like her existing was a threat to their manicured lawns. She fumbled for her phone, fingers slick with sweat, text to her brother Ryan, the one black sheep in their fractured family, Riverside Park. Now, trouble. Ryan Jennings, 32 and built like a storm cloud, with ink snaking up his arms and a leather cut patched with the Iron Wolves emblem that rogue motorcycle club folks whispered about like it was the devil's own knitting circle. To Sarah, though, he was the kid who'd shared his last Pop-Tart when Dad split, the one who'd patched her bike tires and promised, hand on heart, nobody messes with my sis, not while I'm drawing breath. But she'd spent years pulling away, worried sick about his world of midnight runs and barroom dust-ups. The Iron Wolves painted as outlaws in Elmwood's gossip mill, blamed for everything from potholes to rising insurance rates, all because they didn't bow to the HOA's iron-fisted harmony. Her text barely sent when Harlan snatched the phone, waving it like a trophy, his face twisting into that mock pity grin. Calling the cops? Or your sugar daddy? Come on, hand it over nice, and maybe we won't call animal control on that stray vibe you're giving. Vic snorted. Yeah, teach the kid how real men handle their business. And Eddie circled closer, boots crunching her blanket like it was trash underfoot, the air thick with their booze-fueled entitlement, that toxic brew of small-town gatekeeping where protecting the community meant bullying anyone who didn't fit the cookie-cutter mold. Sarah's pulse hammered stay calm, for Tommy, but inside, she was screaming, the weight of every sidelong glance at the grocery store, every you poor thing, laced with judgment, crashing down like waves, making her wonder if she'd ever escape the label of broken. And then, that rumble. Low at first, like thunder chasing a summer squall, building till it vibrated through the benches, silenced the distant laughter, turned heads from barbecues to basketball courts. Harlan froze mid-taunt, cup halfway to his lips, as the horizon spat out chrome beasts Harleys thundering in formation, a pack of 10, 15, engines snarling like awakened beasts under the late sun. At the lead, Ryan, his cut gleaming, eyes locked on Sarah like a hawk spotting prey's prey to shield. The wolves dismounted in sync, a wall of denim and leather unfolding, boots hitting gravel with purpose, and oh man, the shift in the air was electric, that bystander freeze melting into wide-eyed awe or outright panic, parents scooping kids but stealing glances, whispers rippling, iron wolves. Here, in broad daylight, Ryan strode forward, parting the pack like Moses with the Red Sea, his voice a gravelly boom that cut cleaner than any knife. Problem here, boys? Harlan puffed up, bravado flickering back, but his eyes darted to the sea of patches, the scars and stares that screamed, "We don't play by your rules. This ain't your turf, biker trash. We're handlin' neighborhood business, HOA business." Ryan's laugh was low, dangerous, almost amused, stepping inches from Harlan's face, close enough to smell the fierce sweat under the beer. Neighborhood business? Harassing a mom and her kid over some petty-ass dues? That's your big stand. He glanced at Sarah, softening just a flicker. "You good, sis?" And she nodded, Tommy peeking out now, whispering, "Uncle Ryan's here." Like the movies. Vic tried to puff up too. "You wolves bring nothing but trouble, drag racing, noise complaints, scaring property values." But Ryan's second, a grizzled vet named Jax with a beard like steel wool, cracked his knuckles slow, deliberate, murmuring, "Funny, last I checked, we pay taxes too. And right now, we're collecting on respect." Eddie backed up first, hands raised. "Whoa, easy, we were just joking," but Ryan's gaze pinned him, cold as engine oil. "Joke's over. Touch my family again, and your HOA meetings? They'll be planned around hospital visits." The wolves closed in, not touching, just their fortress of loyalty that made the park feel sacred, not besieged. In Harlan's crew crumbled, slinking off with tails tucked, muttering curses about thugs ruining everything, their beer cans clattering abandoned like white flags. Sarah exhaled, shaky, pulling Tommy into a hug that smelled of grass and relief, her mind reeling. "It came, just like always, roaring in when I couldn't even scream." Word spread through Elmwood like wildfire on dry, graspy dinner. The diner's booths buzzed with it, forks pausing mid-bite as Betty the waitress leaned in, heard Ryan Jennings, and his wolf pack ran off those HOA blowhards at the park. About time someone called their bluff. But not everyone's cup of tea. Old Mr. Hargrove at the counter grumbled, "Brings more heat than it solves. Next thing, property values tank for real," while a young dad across the room nodded fervent, "Nah, man, my wife's been scared to take the kids out alone." Wolves or not, they stepped up. Sarah caught it all that night, nursing coffee in the corner, Tommy doodling bikes on his placemat, her chest tight with that push-pull ache, gratitude for Ryan warring with the old worry. What if this drags him deeper into their mess? She'd begged him once, tears and all, to hang up the cut, find a desk job, be safe for once, but he'd just ruffled her hair like she was still 10. Safe's overrated. This, tapping the wolf patch, this is family. The kind that shows when blood don't. And damn if he wasn't right. But it gnawed at her, that fear he'd pay for her peace with his own scars. Still, when those same three idiots circled back 2 nights later, Harlan tailing her pickup at the gas station pumps, headlights flashing aggressive like a challenge, rolling down his window with that same venomous smirk, thought the wolves scared you straight. This town's got rules, and you ain't following 'em. Sarah's blood ran cold. Tommy buckled safe in the back, but wide-eyed in the mirror. She gripped the pump, voice steady despite the quake. "Leave us alone, Harlan. It's over." But he laughed, Vic and Eddie piling out, fists balled. "Over? When you stop acting like the park's your personal playground, freeloader." Motive clear as day. It wasn't just beer-fueled idiocy. Harlan chaired the HOA board, saw Sarah's type as the crack in their perfect facade, the excuse to tighten the screws on everyone, rally the fearful against phantoms. Before she could dial 911, though that rumble again, closer this time, a dozen wolves materializing from the dusk like ghosts on steel, engines a symphony of warning, Jax hollering over the roar. "Round 2, gentlemen? Or you learning slow?" Ryan killed his bike first, planting himself between Sarah and the truck, arms crossed, that quiet fury in his eyes making Harlan's bluster wilt like cheap wallpaper. You got a death wish for your pride, or just allergic to brains? She pays her way more than you. Hide in behind bylaws while real folks bleed for this town. Vic lunged half-hearted. You're the cancer here. But Ryan sidestepped easy, grabbing his collar loose, voice dropping to that lethal whisper. Cancer? Nah. We're the cure for assholes like you. The scuffle was brief, wolves forming up, no punches thrown but the threat humming like live wire, and Harlan's crew peeled out, tires smoking shame, leaving Sarah laughing through adrenaline tears, hugging Ryan fierce. You always gotta make an entrance, she muttered, and he grinned, rare and real. What? And missed the family reunion. That should have been the end, right? The big Hollywood fade where the good guys ride off, townfolk cheer, credits roll. But life's messy, eh? Funnier in its cruelty. Sarah started noticing the shifts, subtle at first. A nod from the barista at the coffee shop. Heard what went down, glad you're okay. Or Tommy's teacher pulling her aside. The boys were bragging about Uncle's Wolf's kids feel safer now. Even the HOA posted a terse memo about inclusive access. Harlan's name mysteriously scrubbed from the next meeting agenda. Ryan, though? He shrugged it off over burgers at her place, grease-smeared napkin in hand. Tommy perched on his knee reenacting the rumble with toy cars. Ain't about winning hearts, it's about drawing lines. And there, in the quiet after Tommy crashed out, Sarah finally spilled the gut-punch truth she'd buried under worry. I hated this life for you, Ree. The risks, the stares, thought it'd swallow you whole. But seeing you stand there, God, it rewired me. You're not troubly, Ree, the damn anchor. He paused, fork midway, eyes misting just a hair. Big bad wolf, undone by a sister's words, then chuckled soft. Took a village of idiots to show ya, huh? But yeah, for you and the squirt, I'd torch the bylaws myself. They clinked bottles, that sibling ease settling like dust after a storm. Her realizing the wolves weren't chaos, they were chosen kin, forged in chrome and code, a shield when the world's HOA overlords turned feral. Fast forward a month, and Riverside's transformed, not perfect, but pulsing with something rawer, realer. The wolves rolled in one Saturday, not as invaders, but hosts, grills fired up, burgers flipping free for any kid who wandered close. Jack spinning yarns about the great wolf hunt of '09 that had the playground howling with giggles instead of huddling in fear. Sarah watched from the picnic table, Tommy astride a parked Harley like a pint-sized king, her heart swelling with this unlikely belonging. The HOA ghosts lurking but toothless now, their grip slipped by a brotherhood that valued heart over hedges. Harlan slunk by once, from afar, face sour as spoiled milk, but even he kept distance. Lesson learned, or grudge nursed. Who knows? As the sun dipped, painting the cottonwoods gold, Ryan slung an arm around her shoulders, Tommy dozing against his leg, and murmured, "Worth every mile, sis." She nodded. Throat tight. Angels don't always fly. Sometimes they ref. But here's the kicker that keeps me up some nights, replaying it all. Did the wolves fix the town, or just paper over the rot? Elmwood's still got its whisper campaigns, its gatekeepers scheming come election time. And yeah, Sarah sleeps sounder, Tommy plays freer, but what if Harlan's crew recruits quieter bullies next round? Is loyalty, like Ryan's fierce, unyielding the real justice? Or does it just trade one pack for another, leaving the HOA vultures circling for the next threat? Hell, I wonder if we'd even want a world without those lines in the sand. Makes you think, doesn't it? Drop a comment below where you watching from, and what's your take? Heroes in leather, or trouble on two wheels? Did this hit home? Stir up your own run-ins with small-town BS? Smash that like if it did. Subscribe for more real talk tales that stick, and share your story. Let's unpack what protecting our own really means. Your thoughts? They're the fuel.